Susan Rice is in a lot of hot water lately. She might want to stop giving interviews. That's the way an article in the Washington Post started off. Susan Rice's track record is taking a beating. Susan Rice might want to stop giving interviews. Not a good thing. All right, so why is that? Well, it turns out Susan Rice, back in January, was on NPR, where she stated that Assad had turned over all his chemical weapons, and that he voluntarily and verifiably had done so. Now, the Washington Post has looked at that, and they've given her 4 Pinnocchios. That's not a good thing, right? 4 Pinnocchios is the highest number of Pinnocchios that you can be given. That means that Susan Rice lied, or at least told an untruth. Now, that's only if you think that Assad had the chemical weapons. If you don't think he did, then maybe she doesn't get 4 Pinnocchios. But, you know, the prevailing thing around the D.C. and, you know, in the media is, yeah. So both things can't be true. Either he had them or he didn't have them. And if Susan Rice says that he didn't have them, well, she must be lying, because there's no way that could be accurate. Here goes the statement. The reality is that there were continued chemical weapons attacks by Syria, and that the U.S. and international officials had good evidence that Syria had not been completely forthcoming in its declaration and possibly retained sarin and VX nerve agent. But Susan Rice went on to say, we were able to negotiate diplomatically without the use of force to get them to do what we wanted them to do, and all was right with the world. And the Washington Post article is being very charitable to Ms. Rice. They're like, well, hey, maybe she's just sticking up for Obama. She did so very enthusiastically. Yeah, sticking up for someone enthusiastically with wrong information. Sort of like, I don't know, something I might have done for my cousin one time when he got into a fight and I didn't want our parents to know. That's what I was doing. I was sticking up for him, you know, enthusiastically. But my parents grounded me like I was lying, because they didn't get the memo that you could call it that, Washington Post people. So that's not the only thing that has Susan Rice in the hot water. It's also the thing about Trump, where she says she knew nothing about surveillance on Trump, though she was the actual person who unredacted or unmasked a document where Trump was caught up in surveillance. Incidental surveillance, they call it. That's what I'm trying to get this guy, but I got this guy and everybody with him all at the same time. So yeah, funny stuff. Susan Rice, I don't think it's a good idea for you to do interviews anytime soon. It hasn't been working out too well for you. And also, it's good to note there was the whole Benghazi thing, where Susan Rice said that all was attributed to people being spontaneously upset about a movie they saw, when it turns out they had planned it for a while. Susan Rice, not exactly a track record of verifiable statements. And maybe, just leave that alone. I'm Tim Black for TBTV. Subscribe to this channel and let me know what you think about this article. Peace.